Welcome to Teachings from the Masters with Daryl Shaun Price.
Hi, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So I want to talk today about where you put your attention and how that creates the reality you're living. And I want to dig deep onto these two concepts. So there's really two priorities you have, and it's either one or the other. Either you are prioritizing inner well-being, living in alignment, and taking care of the inner work, or you're prioritizing taking care of all the external circumstances and making that where your attention goes. And I'll tell you, this comes from a lot of people that I've worked with, and I've heard this over and over and over again. When we talk about living in alignment and spending some time meditating and getting mindful and really focusing on, is your spirit, heart, mind, and body in sync? And are you living that way? And I've heard so many different things. I've heard so many different things from so many different people that go something like, well, I want to, but I'm so busy. And I've got all these things I need to do. And I'm a single parent and I've got to take care of kids and I've got so much to do at work. I'm not sure how to fit that in. And I've got to rearrange my schedule so I can fit that in. Well, even if you fit in the activities that are part of choosing to live in alignment, you're not going to be living in alignment. Because just that statement alone, you're saying, oh, it's not a priority. I have to take care of all the external circumstances that are created by my current identity first before I can even think about taking care of my inner well-being and living in alignment. And so you end up filling your life with more obligations, more things to do, more fires to put out, more things to take care of, because that's where your focus is and that's what grows. Your attention is your superpower. You know, this was kind of inspired by a conversation I had with a dear friend of mine earlier this week. So it was a very similar situation. I was talking to her about living in alignment and kind of gave a recommended, hey, every day do some of these things to help you get into alignment. And then when you're in alignment, here's what you do to follow the peace and really pay attention to how you feel and focus on that. And her immediate response was, well, as a single mom, I've got so many things to do in the morning and so much to take care of. I'm not sure how to fit that in, but I know I need to. And then I asked her this question. So with all these things you have to take care of, you're so busy, you're taking care of your daughter, you're making sure everything is done, the breakfast is made, whatever it is. Do you still get dressed before you do those things? Of course the answer is yes. Like, so you're not going to go out naked and do those things because you're so busy you don't have time to get dressed. And of course, the answer is no, I'm not going to go out naked and do these things. So she takes the time to make sure she's physically dressed. When all it takes is 15 minutes to make sure you're in alignment. See what I mean by priorities? And I've heard this from so many people. All this busyness I have to take care of. I have to take care of, what you're really saying is, I have to take care of and protect this current identity before I can even think about being in alignment and a new one. So you want to keep feeding the current identity so you can never have a new one. You know, there's a saying that I've said a couple times in this podcast, and I'll probably say it over and over again. But it is that if you take care of the inner work, you never have to struggle with the outer work because it matches you. So you're in this situation where you're maybe not in your dream house and you're kind of struggling with different things. And maybe some things are going good, but you feel like you worked really hard to get them. And you wish it was easier. You wish you could just flow and have things happen. You wish you could manifest miracles in an easy way. Okay. Then why do you keep feeding attention to the current identity and situations you're in? Now, I want to say this clearly. There are things that are going to happen in your current reality that you have to respond to. You're not going to just ignore it. You're not going to ignore the kids you have to take care of. You're not going to ignore the job. You're going to respond to them appropriately. But your focus is not on them. It's on the new you and the alignment internally. And once the focus is on the alignment internally, everything externally starts to shift. That's where things start to really fall into place. That's where the miracles happen. So I also want to talk about one other concept here, and that's the philosophy of vegan plus bacon. And so it goes like this. There are a lot of people, and I've met some of them, who will say, well, I would love to be vegan or vegetarian, but I just love bacon too much. Okay, so be vegan plus bacon. We have this mentality that if we're not everything and perfect, it's not good enough, so we better just go back to what we've been doing. If the new identity doesn't fall into place immediately, we're just going to go back to the old one. And a lot of these people, yeah, they want to do it for the right reasons, for health. They've got ethical reasons, like, but bacon. So do the most of what you can do and accept the fact you still have bacon for now. You took a step forward. And those steps forward mean more than you can realize. So let's take this situation again. Well, I'm so busy and I'm a single mom and I've got this kid and I've got all these obligations to take care of. Yeah. So add in meditation and focus on being internally aligned while doing that. We love to put things in conflict. It's either black or white. It's either right or wrong. It's either up or down. It's either good or bad. No, it's just situations. You are currently experiencing the reality that is all the situations and all the experiences that you have created from your current identity, from those beliefs in your subconscious that are creating everything that proves that those beliefs are true. I'm too busy. I have to work hard. I've got things to take care of. A lot of bad things have happened in my life. I have a lot of trauma. I need to overcome this stuff. Okay. So have that reality and switch your attention to living in alignment. Don't try to, I'm going to switch my attention to living in alignment to fix all the reality. No, I'm just going to live in alignment. I am going to focus on my heart, my spirit, my mind, and my body being in sync no matter what. That is where my attention is. And I'm a single parent. And I have to take care of these things. And I have a lot of busyness out here. But my energy and attention is here. Kind of like the vegan plus bacon philosophy. Their energy and attention is on doing things that they feel will help them be healthier or more ethical or whatever reason they're making that choice. And they still have bacon. And that's okay. You do not have to switch so drastically that the old world is now in conflict with the new you. No, let it play out. Let it be what it is. You know, a concept we've talked a lot about on this podcast is the 3 A's. Anything that happens, you're aware of, you accept it, and you appreciate it for exactly what it is. Coming back to my friend's situation. I'm a single mom. I'm really busy. Okay, I'm aware of being a single mom and busy. I can accept that I'm a single mom and busy. And I can appreciate that that's the experience I'm having. Now, guess what? You didn't ignore it. But your attention and energy isn't on that controls me. It is on, I'm aware this experience is what I'm having. And really, that's where it is. Your focus is either one of two directions. You are either focused externally on all the stuff that's out there and letting that define you. Being defined by anything that's happened to you, anything you've done in your past, anything someone has said about you, any situation you've been in, all the obligations you have, whatever that is. Or your focus is internal. And you are defined by being in alignment and allowing these experiences to be what they are. And it takes a lot of faith. I'm going to tell you right now, it is simple, but it's not easy. It takes a lot of faith to say, I'm not worried about anything on the outside. I'm aware of it. I accept it. I appreciate it. My focus is on me, on the inside. My focus is on the internal work I need to do to live in alignment, to live at peace. But this is where the miracles happen. This is where you start to realize how powerful a creator you really are. You know, it's interesting as I watch this play out in my life, and we all do this as humans. Our mind loves to attach to an identity. It wants to have some definitions. Basically, it wants to have some programming around which to process as a computer. So we'll get to some new plateau, and this happens to me as well as it does to anyone else, but we'll get to some new plateau of, oh, I think I've got it figured out and everything feels good and this is great. And then something else happens that's a distraction. And then something else happens that's a distraction, or something else. And then something else happens that's a distraction, or something else gets your attention, and you start paying attention to it and don't even realize you're now giving your power away to external again. And one of the ways I see this happen with people I work with, well intended, is they start to get super attached to tools. Well, I have to do this ritual at this time so I can feel good. Oh, if I don't go and do all my readings, if I don't meditate for 2 to 3 hours a day, then I'm not ready. Well, now they're defined by the external tools that they feel like they have to have. Tools are helpful. They are useful. But like the Buddha said, they are the finger that points at the moon. They're not the moon. They're only meant to help you in your awareness. The only thing you need to do, to start manifesting miracles in your life is to keep your energy and focus on, am I in alignment or not in this moment? And getting into alignment or not in this moment is going to be very different moment by moment. Sometimes that getting into alignment is, I feel like taking a nap. That feels inspired. And your mind will go, but you can't take a nap. You're too busy and you got work to do. And if you don't do all these things, you're never going to get what you want. You can't just take a nap. That's lazy. But that's not who drives the bus. If we let our mind drive the bus, we're always putting out the fires of the current situation, or always trying to push and force the current situation to shift. And it's little shifts for all the effort put in. If we train our mind that it's okay to observe and not attach, if we train our mind that it's okay to observe and not attach, for example, this situation is happening. Oh, we're tired and we're taking a nap. That doesn't mean anything. We let it go. We just experience what is. Then what happens is your body starts to feel safe with the unknown, because you've trained your mind that it's okay to just observe without attachment, and it doesn't have to mean anything. And really, that's what it boils down to. It's all the different meanings we put on all the experiences that almost pull our attention away from us to maintaining the current identity. And the meanings are there because your mind is trying to defend the current identity. Let me tell you about one that happened to me recently. So we've moved to Maine recently, those of you that have been watching the podcast for a while. And it was a cross-country move from South Texas to Maine. So we went from the bottom to the top of the United States. Now here in Maine, which is gorgeous, by the way, I love the property we're on, the trees, the grapevine trellis, it's just amazing property. Anyway, but in making that move, there was a lot of external stressful situations, one of which was my son struggling with work. So as we were getting ready to move up here, he's been a door dasher for a while and platinum status and done really good at that job and was making decent money. And then got in a car accident, has no vehicle, can't do that here. So of course, my mind says, oh my gosh, he's not going to be participating. He's not going to be helping pay the bills. Well, that's going to stress us all out. And there were times it did. There were times I gave in to that, and I'm running around trying to put out the fires, and I'm trying to push him to get another job and to do more and to do more and to do more, because he's got to participate and he's got to help and he's got to stand on his own 2 feet, and I want him to succeed in life, etc. And then it was funny, as we got up here and calmed down, he found the perfect job for him. He's always wanted to go into culinary arts. He's now working as a cook under a chef at one of the fanciest restaurants where we live. And I thought, oh, great. And this is my mind. Oh, great. Wonderful. See, it did work out. That's awesome. He's going to be doing what he loves and participating and helping with the finances and starting to stand on his own 2 feet. And let me be clear. It's not like we're struggling and he has to go get a job or we're going to suffer. It's more that as he does this and stands on his own 2 feet, he gets to create his own life. And it really feels like it's time for him to do that. So coming back to the story, so my mind was at ease with the current situation because he's now making good money doing something he loves. And then he had an accident where a piece of his earbud got stuck in his ear and it got so infected he could not go into work in the state he was in. And my mind wants to go, oh my gosh, that's horrible. You better go find something else then. And better, you're not on your own 2 feet again. And then I calmed my mind down, got back into alignment, said, no, this is just a situation. Just observe it for what it is. Took him to the urgent care, paid the money to have the object removed, etc. And it was fine. And then he finally got to the point that, yeah, he's going to go work again. And the day before he gets back to going to work at this perfect job, he trips on the stairs in the laundry room, twists his ankle so bad he probably can't go into work. Now, here's where the shift happened. Each of these is just an experience. It means nothing. It's just an experience. This third time, I was able to say, okay, I accept it's happening. I'm aware of it, and I appreciate it for what it is. I don't know what this experience has to do with the bigger picture of anything, but I'm at peace. If he can't go into work, I don't want him to go into work and injure himself. And it doesn't matter if he can't go into work and makes all the money because that's what I think he should be doing. I'm just at peace. And this could be a very stressful situation. Now I'm aware of it. I've responded to it. I've given my advice. And then I stepped back and just followed my peace, which now I'm out here filming this podcast. And if you notice, I'm not in the same scenery I was last time because I'm like, oh, let me go over to the back side of the house. That feels right this time. Why? It doesn't matter. And yeah, your mind's going to try to say, well, why did that happen? You've been trying to do all these things and he's been trying to stand up on his own 2 feet. Why did it happen? Who cares? It happened. The only thing that matters is in this moment, no matter what is happening, whatever experience you're having, are you in alignment? You want to know how to check that? How do you feel right now? Are you anxious? You're not in alignment. Are you sad? You're not in alignment. Are you angry? You're not in alignment. You're frustrated? You're not in alignment. Are you at peace? You're in alignment. Do you feel joy? You're in alignment. Do you feel happiness? You're in alignment. Do you feel love? You're in alignment. Your heart is here to show you where you're in alignment. And this is very helpful in getting your attention from external to internal. Because 9 times out of 10, when you're not in alignment and your feelings say so, it's because your attention is on something that is old you that isn't serving new you, isn't serving you being in alignment with your spirit that always is leading you on the easiest path to your happiest life that you will allow. Your spirit's sending out these signals. And if you choose to follow them, it will be the easiest path. If you don't, okay, it'll backpedal and send out a different signal that might get your attention on something that's a little harder, but it'll still get you there. And think about it. Even just in the external world, you know people who are constantly doing things the hard way or have to learn things the hard way or have to figure it out themselves. Instead of, it's just an easier way to do it like this. And it's because of identity. We get so used to this hard way that we've created. We get so used to this is the way life is that we won't accept the easy way because it doesn't feel comfortable. And this is why it's so important that your only job in life is to look at this moment right now and ask, am I in alignment? Am I at peace? What are my feelings telling me about where my attention is right now? Oh, I'm anxious and I'm nervous and I'm frustrated because I got so much to do. Then stop. Switch back to watching that emotion. Practice non-reaction. Non-reaction goes like this. Again, you are aware of, accept, and are appreciative of whatever situation is happening. First, you calm your body so it is not in fight or flight mode, so your nervous system is calm. Take some deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Exhale longer than the amount of time you inhale. That tells your body and sends signals to all your cells that you are safe, that what's happening is not hurting you. Once your body is calm, you switch the attention of your mind from whatever it has been on to just the feeling. To just the feeling. And not the feeling with all the thoughts associated with it. Not, oh, I'm feeling anxiety because all these things are happening and I got to get it done. No, I'm feeling anxiety. Okay, that feels like a tightness in my chest. That feels like this happening in my body. I'm watching it. I'm aware of it. I am watching this feeling until it passes, because your heart, by feeling that, is already shifting the energy of something that what you paying attention to isn't in alignment, and shifting it to something else. This is where the alchemy of vibration happens within you. So you watch that feeling till it passes. And I will tell you this, neuroscience recently has proven that feelings independent of any situation that feeds them or diminishes them naturally last about 3 seconds. Now, at first, it's not going to be 3 seconds because what you're going to do is like, oh, I'm feeling anxiety. And immediately mind goes, anxiety, you have something to do. What are you supposed to be doing? So the thought starts to feed it. When you train your mind to just observe the feeling, it goes quickly. And then on the other side, you'll find peace because then your attention's already internal. And then you can ask yourself, what feels like peace right now? I'm going to go take a nap. I'm going to go walk around the yard. I'm going to go film on the other side of the house because that feels like peace right now. But when you start to train yourself to prioritize your inner well-being and who you are in the inside, the external circumstances always take care of themselves and you will manifest miracles. Because there's nothing greater than the power of you. See you next time.